Tonight I'm in the haunted bedroom at my own home, and I want to try and touch base on a few points that people have raised over the last few years when I've been exhibiting videos of paranormal activity which occurs in this room. Most of the criticism levelled at me is that I'm just interacting with dust. And when I've shown the crescent shape anomalies, and if I can just show you those briefly now, people have actually said, well, you've used a flashlight to do that, or I've picked up the headlights of vehicles passing by the back of the house, which is quite impossible for all my critics out there, because the back of my own home actually backs on to the backs of other people's homes. Okay, now the next point that people have raised with me, their concerns or criticisms, is that where I've actually shown this crescent shape anomaly appearing, this crescent shape anomaly is actually a flashlight. Well, I'm afraid I've tried with a flashlight to try and duplicate that type of activity, and I can assure you it's impossible. As you can see, it doesn't represent the crescent shape very well. And okay, let's try and make it look like a crescent shape moving across the carpet. It's very dull, very wishy-washy, and it loses definition. Now, just to remind you, whenever the crescent anomalies have appeared in this bedroom, they've always retained a solid shape as they've moved across the carpet. Okay, let's try and break the beam in half to try and force it into a crescent shape, and let's see what we get. To me, it looks nothing like the entities that I've picked up here. Let's make it rush across the carpet as though it's real. So there you have it. I'm quite open to anybody that has any suggestions about what they think it can be, because I know what it is, because I've experienced it and I live with it on a daily basis. I must point out that the house itself is very active, but for some strange reason, and I think the reason being that there are portals in this bedroom which make this particular area extremely active. Also, this part of the house actually laps over the site of an earlier dwelling which sat on this particular estate many years ago. My home was built in 1952 to a pre-war design. The activity I've picked up here goes back much further sometimes. The most common spiritual apparition that's appeared here, which is the crescent shape anomaly, is that of a little girl who I call Ellie. Another apparition that appears here is that of a cat. Now, the cat is perhaps more common now than Ellie used to be. 4 months ago, another story. I came up the staircase onto the landing and I saw my two cats sat facing a third cat, which was a tortoiseshell cat. This tortoiseshell cat was staring at my two cats, which is very unusual because my cats don't normally socialise other than at feeding time. And they were both staring at this cat, completely fixated by it. When they saw me, all three split. My two ran down the staircase and the mysterious cat turned and ran into the spare bedroom where I sleep. The only problem was that the bedroom door was actually closed, and this spiritual animal, which looked completely real, just ran through a solid door. So, as you can appreciate, as far as paranormal activity is concerned, I'm quite au fait with different types of activity, particularly based upon my own home and my own experiences. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually show you very briefly what the bedroom looks like. So if we can just scan around the room, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Another accusation is that the activity I've recorded in here is dust. Well, the only problem with the accusation of dust is in order to prove it's not dust, I have to show that what I'm actually engaging with is a sentient life form. And sentient, for those that don't understand, is an intelligent thinking, free thinking life form that can react or interact with me. And what I've been doing is being sat there with a camcorder in my hand, calling out to them and asking them to appear. And very often they do appear and they rush straight towards the bed, as in this particular clip here. If there's anybody here, could you show yourselves, please? Oh, thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. Could you do that again, please? Oh yes, that's fantastic. If there's anyone here, could you tell me who you are, please? I saw that. That was fantastic from me. I don't mean you any harm or offence. Oh yes, thank you. That's fantastic. Are there any friendly spirits here tonight? If so, could you show yourself, please? Oh, thank you. Is that you, Ellie? Could you show yourself again, whoever you are, please? Oh yes, thank you. Oh, that was fantastic. That was absolutely brilliant, thank you. I normally sit on this bed when I'm actually viewing towards the floor area, and if I'm not actually on the bed, I occasionally sit on a Regency period chair in the corner of the room. And if by magic I suddenly appear in the chair. So I'm actually sat here on some occasions videoing down towards the floor, or I'm on the bed, so I tend to rotate from the two positions. Where this mirror is, just above here, is what I can feel to be a portal area. It's much colder. When I run my hand down the wall, I can feel a cold draft blowing through this wall, which is quite crazy really. And yet when I measure the temperature using a thermometer, it doesn't show any difference whatsoever to the rest of the room. And yet I can feel it, and other people can feel it. And it's where this picture is, which a lot of people have made comment on. It's actually a copy of a painting by Tamara di Lempicka, and it's based upon two famous characters from the 1930s. But I'm not here to give an art lesson, but that's the reason why the picture is there. I love Art Deco, even though this room has got a lot of pre-Art Deco furniture in it, but I quite like this picture, even though it probably scares quite a few people. Over this painting is where I can feel another cold spot too. And also around this cupboard door area. So there are the key areas where I pick up most of the activity that comes into the room. The other spiritual entities that I've picked up in the house, apart from the little girl and the cat, have been a dog, and the dog tends to be active around the staircase and also in the small box room. And I actually put a video up on YouTube a long time ago which shows EVP, which was captured in that bedroom. Let me just show you that. Could you do that again, please? I've just heard what sounds like an animal gnawing or clawing on something. Anyway, that's about it for now. So I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of the haunted bedroom and my explanations and demonstrations. But if you're unsure about the paranormal, please try and keep an open mind. I came onto YouTube with express intent of showing real paranormal activity as it occurs, without any artificial aids, without making outrageous statements or even actually fabricating any kind of footage. I want to show paranormal activity as it occurs and where it occurs. For me to sit here and fabricate any kind of activity is a complete and utter waste of my time. I'm a very serious researcher. Why would I want to do that? I don't need to try and boost my ratings here on YouTube. I've got a large subscription base. I'm trying to show to people the real activity and not the stuff that others put on here, which quite simply is so hopelessly fake. Anyway, thank you for sharing your time with me. We have a very interesting investigation coming up shortly, and I'm certain, well, my fingers are crossed certain, that we're going to pick up a lot of activity there. And I'm pretty sure you guys will be enthralled by it. Anyway, thank you for your time.